Sunday marks the 200th edition of NFL RedZone. Since it launched September of 2009, Scott Hanson is with us now. Thank you for joining us, Scott. What do you remember about the first show?
Ooh, well, good to be with you guys again. The first show, honestly, when we came on the air, I was so nervous, like you would be starting any new show as a broadcaster, except this. I really did think this was going to be a huge hit, right? 7 hours, every touchdown from every game, commercial-free, the NFL, all of this. And so I thought, if you screw up this opening on camera, Hanson, it's going to live forever. Like, I'm a sports broadcasting fan. I remember every time ESPN has any anniversary, they roll out the old Lee Leonard, 1979, welcome to the ESPN Sports Center, he says, and they roll out that clip. And I'm like, this is the clip, Hanson, for NFL RedZone. If this thing lives for 50 years, this is what they're going to show. Don't mess it up. And thankfully, I muddled through it, and I said, welcome to the first moments of the channel that we hope change the way you watch football forever. And I guess that's proven to be true.
Wow. Big I told you so on the 200th edition of NFL RedZone. Scott Hanson here to tell you he got it right from the very beginning, not just the cadence and the word count, which, by the way, I do recognize that as a person who walked around his neighborhood at 4 o'clock in the morning repeating for 90 minutes. Pardon the interruption, but I'm Dan LeBatard, because I was so scared my first time doing some of that stuff. Take us through the nerves of that. Take us through that first show and, 200 shows ago. How bad were you? How fast did it move that you weren't expecting? Like, what are the things that are different between now and then?
Yeah, it was a whole new world. I would say the first episode was not as horrible as it could have been. Now, the audition to get the job was completely different. I don't know if I've ever told you that story or not, but usually when you audition for a TV show, they put you up on the set for 5 or 10 minutes if you're trying to be the weekend sports anchor in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? But for NFL RedZone, stamina was going to be one of the main job requirements. So the audition was 5 hours long. They did it in the middle of the summer when they were trying to find a host for NFL RedZone. Excuse me. And they took a random week from the season before in the NFL. They took 8 different videotapes, put them in 8 different machines, queued it up to the kickoff, hit play simultaneously, and said, talk. And I went for 5 hours. We did a whole series of games and then up to the halftime of the next window of games. And I flop sweated through my suit that I was wearing. I didn't know if I was identifying any of these third-string wide receivers correctly. And I finished, and I thought, I either got the job or I ruined my career with NFL media. There is no in-between here.
All right.
And about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call, and they named me the host.
I'm worried about you, and I think the audience is as well, because you're a consummate professional, and I have never heard what's happened to you now happen in 200 episodes of NFL RedZone where you simply can't clear your throat, and you're stuck in a situation like
Scott, you okay?
You're the height of broadcasting, and you just power through 7 hours of commercial-free football. Are you okay? What's your status? What did you eat before you came on here? What's happening with your throat and the congestion that you don't seem to be able to dislodge?
Well, at least it didn't happen during the middle of a global pandemic, and then people could worry about me that way. No, but you're a great broadcast partner, because while you were filling right there,
that's all I was doing.
Took a little swig from my.
It's all. It's all I was doing. It's what makes me a bleeple around here. The number of times I'm filibustering, and people don't know I'm filibustering. I'm just stumbling around trying to help somebody.
One of my nicknames is Flembrand.
My man.
Scott Hanson with us. Sunday marks the 200th edition of NFL RedZone since it launched September 2009.
Scott, I'm wondering, the closest you've come, traffic, I don't know, closest you've come to missing the NFL RedZone.
Traffic.
Well, so I live in Los Angeles. That's where the studios are. But I used to live in Tampa, and I would fly out to do the show. I would fly out on Saturday, and we had a couple of mechanical failures on 2 different planes, like Tampa to Dallas, Dallas to L.A., and I called my producer, and I'm like, this is the last flight here, and the show begins at 10 a.m., Pacific time, and I might not have made it to but that was about as close as I had. That was mechanical failure on a plane, but other than that, no. I mean, I've played hurt before. You know, you come into the studio when you're sick or, you know, congested or whatever, stopped up from eating your cheese house, you know, for a couple of hours.
Yes, it's happened to me so many times.
It happens. But no, you know what? It's like you guys are dedicated to the audience. I am too. And knock on wood, we're going to roll for another 200 episodes.
Can you explain to the audience, when you talk about the stamina of that, like how you sleep that night, what level of drained you are when you leave, how foggy are you? Or are you just hopped up on adrenaline and actively looking like someone who just snorted cocaine off that desk?
When I get in the elevator in my condo building, I hope there's no one else in it. Let me put it that way, because I don't want to talk to a human. I don't want to see a human. I don't want to have anything else. I come through the door, I order some food, make myself a beverage, pop on Sunday Night Football, and I am on the couch for the rest of the night. And yeah, that night, yeah, it's comatose. The night before, I get so wired I can't sleep. Saturday nights, I usually send out a tweet at 1 a.m. Eastern time. You know, hey, guys, we're 12 hours away from NFL RedZone. And people think I go to sleep then. I don't. I lay in my bed going over facts and figures and freaking depth charts and stuff for the next hour or two until I can get 2-3 hours of sleep and then wake up and let's get after it.
Again, Sunday marks the 200th edition NFL RedZone. It's crack cocaine. It's amazing to watch. If you watch football that way, you will never watch it any other way and have it be the same. But I'm curious when it regards the fatigue level and the intricacies of the job that only you know. Is there another job in sports television or television that requires that particular stamina you're talking about? Because I don't think people realize the high wire that is, and I don't think people realize, like, how exhausted you must be after just revving with your foot on the gas through 7 hours of that.
Well, fortunately, I think I got a pretty good motor, right? I'm an energy guy. I love doing what I do and serving the audience. I've thought about it before. The only thing I can come up with is, and all three of us, Dan Stugatz and I, are all old enough to remember the old Jerry Lewis March of Dimes telethon.
Wait a minute. That was over days of days without sleep. That was 24-hour programming all the time for like 3 days, that telethon.
Well, I'm not making myself into some kind of philanthropic hero here. I'm just saying that's the closest thing I could ever. When Jerry Lewis, remember his on-camera clothes at the end of it? His tie was ripped off to the side. His shirt was all over the place. His hair, he made himself, he affected it to do that way. But he had been on for that many days and doing that much good. You guys, if you can name something else.
No, that's it's just such a great reference by you. The fact that what you said is such a great articulation. Yes, do you remember the historic telethon where people would stay up for 3 straight days, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, like some kid from Poughkeepsie is just dancing for 3.5 minutes because they don't have anything else.
It was perfect, but the younger portion of our audience has no idea what the three of us
you
are
are ancient. He has been around for 200 shows. He is so ancient. 200 more, Hanson. Look at this pace, Hanson. You can't snort that much football and have 200 more of those in you.
I need the cash, fellas. I'm in it for the money.
My man. Hey, Siciliano told me 6 espressos, six of them to get through one Sunday. How many for Scott Hanson?
Believe it or not, I hate coffee.
What?
I do not drink it. Nope. I had a mix-up with my hot chocolate and my teacher's black coffee back in 4th grade, and Mrs. Rue ruined me forever on coffee because I picked up her black coffee, thought it was my hot chocolate in the white styrofoam cups, and I said, that is disgusting dirt water. I'm never drinking that, and I never have. Okay. So it's all natural, what you hear coming out of my pie hole for 7 hours on Sunday.
All natural and a bottle full of amphetamines. He's Scott Hanson. Thank you for being on with us, Scott. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys. Love the show.
Thanks, Scott.